Two, one. All right, family, we're back. It's your boy Dame DNYDC, host of the Two Mics Up podcast. I'm here with my wonderful co-host Elisa Middleton. Man, we here today. We got an amazing guest. We got a king. Exactly. Round of applause. We got a king here, man. That we were talking off air about during our hiatus. How hard I was going for to find kings, especially young kings. Young men that are doing things out here that really don't get the notoriety or the recognition. For the work that they're doing. And man, this young man, when he hit me back, man, I was ecstatic. I was doing backflips and back there in the crib. The wife looking at me like I was crazy. Like, what's wrong with you? So you just don't know like the energy that this brother has. But before I introduce this brother, Lisa, I know it's been a minute. I want to go ahead. Yeah, go ahead, get in here. Go ahead. I see you rocking, you smiling.
Listen, yes, I'm happy to be back. I'm glad for the second season, humbled and grateful, man. You don't know. I know we have to take our breaks and reboot, refresh, re-energize. But I'm just happy to be back in and ready for season 2.
Well, here we go. Today's amazing king is Travis Raeburn, actor. Man, this brother, you've seen him in movies like First Match, Civic, which was a great short film. He was in Soup, which I thought had a phenomenal message, along with that theater and stage production which blows my mind. Which I thought, reading and again talking to some people that I know back home that said that they saw a Topdog, Underdog. This brother, man, Travis Raeburn, welcome to the show, man. Thanks for joining us.
Thank you so much. Thank you for having me. Like I said, I'm ecstatic to be here and to meet you guys. I mean, I know it's virtually, but hopefully I want to meet you guys in person and, build this relationship. You know what I'm saying? Like, I think you guys are doing amazing things with this podcast. So really, thank you for having me and blessings into your season 2. It's only up. It's only up from here.
Right.
We getting it right with you, man. You know what I'm saying? I mean, it is, and and thank you for your kind words. Really, from what I've been able to gather in my research and watching you and the things that you've done, you're really accomplished. And you're very versatile. But what is one of the things? Because see, I can't act my way out of a paper bag. And I'm just trying to figure what drew you.
Well, I do a little something.
But what drew you, man? Like, what was the draw, or what was the passion, I guess, for you to get into performing arts?
First of all, I think anybody can act. I think we're all actors in some way, shape, or form. Like we're all actors, whether that be honestly or coming from somewhere else. We're all actors. But for me, I started acting. I knew I wanted to do this. Like this was my calling. This was my passion. That was my soul from since I was 7. And I went to a school in East Flatbush called Steps Elementary, and it was a private school. And shout out Steps Elementary. It was a really good Caribbean background upbringing. You know what I'm saying? Like my mom's Grenadian and my dad's Haitian, so we and Brooklyn, everybody Caribbean. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
That Caribbean background upbringing, especially in the schools. Different than public school. Like public school is very can be different, can be a little bit more gritty. And I think to have that solid background from being smaller really set the tone on how I move through life later on. And so I did a Christmas play when I was 7, and I can't remember how I got into it, but I just remember going to school and I was 7 years old, thinking when I was young, I was a really great student. I think I was quiet and I listened a lot, and I think of myself when I was younger as a really solid, great student.
Right.
But when I was going to school, at that time, I was like, I want to be in rehearsals. I figured that was my source. That's where I was getting it from. I wanted to be in that rehearsal room. And I had 4 characters at the time, but one of the ones that really stuck out to me was I was playing this man who was homeless and he was asking for change. and I had like this little monologue, and from the rehearsals to the exploring how to do that, and then from the audience to when I actually did it, like it was, you know, seeing how communal it was, seeing how fun it was, I was like, I gotta do this. So, and my mom also was she was just very push, not very pushing, but she like believed in me.
No, she believed, yeah, that's support.
Yeah. That, and I think it's great. It's solid that we have that. You know, my mom is my rock. She's my heart. She's my everything. And so when a parent believes in their kid to do whatever, you know, that like people, kids need that, you know, especially Black kids.
Well, I was just before even asking the second part of that question. So, were you raised by a single parent as well, single mom?
I was raised by my mom, but my dad was in my life though. Yeah, like I didn't live in the house with him, but my dad, that's one of my best friends. He's funny, he's great. But my mom raised me in her household, and she's my everything though. Yeah,
I understand that. Yeah, I didn't have my dad, and I just heard you say that. You know, a lot of times that drive for young men. You know, talking with on another lady's podcast that I just did. Young men, their hearts are tied or tuned to their mother's voice. You know, and we don't really realize, like in our early culture, there was a reason why when our young men would turn 12 and 13, the elders of the community came and took them from their mothers to help raise them become warriors and kings. It's because of that tie, that connection, because no matter what your dad may do to you, it's what your mother will say to you that will hurt more than anything in the world, because her words are tied to your heart.
Yes.
And you know, and I was just asking, you know, but it's good because you had that balance, and you did have that male presence with your dad being it. But, you know, I just wanted to share that little nugget. I don't think a lot of us realize in our community. Yeah. So that what they call Oedipus complex type thing. But that's for another conversation. So the second part though, I did want to ask, so with that, you know, that love and wanting to be a part of that group, you know, is that what helped you transition into acting, or was that just like the natural progression of things?
Yeah, like I knew I wanted to do it since then, you know. It was at the time, just because of limited resources and stuff like that, I wasn't put straight into acting classes, you know, and I think that would have, if I had different resources, like I would maybe be somewhere else, you know. But yeah, but from there, like I went, I have to give credit to the junior high school I went to a school called Pathways College Preparatory, which is in the 192 campus in Queens. Okay. And they had an after school program, which was headed by the acting program was headed by someone named Tracy Jack, who had a great influence on me just going into high school. And you know, she helped me with my monologues. And then my step coach at the time was Frederick Solomon. And I owe a lot to him, because I went to half of my elementary school, like he was there too, like teaching us how to step. And he was one of the first Black male actors I had knew in my life. You know what I'm saying? So to have that inspiration to know that like it's possible, you know what I'm saying? Like that. Like, I mean, I'm gonna do it regardless, but to have, you know,
you don't need a role model,
solid role model that's doing it, you know, really puts a little salt on it on top of it. But I owe a lot to those two people, and you know, they helped me then transition to going into school for performing arts for high school. So
that's what's up. That's what's up.
And we did plays in junior high school too. So we was, you know, that was how I was honing like the skills doing plays, rehearsals, and all that. So
that's what's up.
That's nice. Now let me ask you this: so when you how does it work with acting? Like after you learned, like what your performing art you do, is that it, or are you always training, always honing your craft, or do you learn more? Like, is there more to learn with acting, or?
Absolutely, I think because acting is life. Like you can't know, like there's no limit.
Right.
It's literally endless. You know what I'm saying? And I think anybody in any particular craft would most likely say the same thing. But acting, like, it's life. You know what I'm saying? Like, the good thing about acting is you can never be too old. Okay. You can never be too young. It's life. You know what I'm saying? As long as there's a human experience that we could tap into, you know what I'm saying? Whether, you know, we're playing animals or, you know, whatever, you know what I'm saying? We're tapping into a human experience, and that like that is endless. That is so endless because it's a spectrum. You know what I'm saying?
I never even thought of it like that.
Right. So when you say it like that, though, so is it that when you feel a part is what makes you take it? Because I know they have this struggling thing that, you know, they take what they could get, but is it a situation where when you're deciding to join a project, you know, do you look at the script and say, no, this may not be for me, or is it something that you have to be, you have to feel?
Nah, morals definitely come into play also. I think to answer one your earlier question is how do I, you know, keep training? Like I just got out of school for acting. I mean, I've been doing it professionally for some time also, but I also did just graduate from college for doing it. So
congratulations.
Oh, well, congratulations, bro.
Yeah, we can't skip over that.
Right. We can't leave that out.
Thank you. But yeah, so I like, you know, technically I was in intense training for about 8 years, 4 years for high school and then 4 years for college, you know what I'm saying? So I just got out and regardless of what, like I'm still training, like I'll be in classes with this other group called Police Athletic League. They'll bring in with teenagers and I'll just sit in on their classes. Sometimes I'll do things with them also, but it is I think with determining on what part do I do, like definitely reading the script, definitely see if it fits right with me, and if, you know, like what the impact is that on the community or like the culture, you know what I'm saying? Like that really always comes into play, you know what I'm saying? Because I just don't want to take anything, and of course money, you know what I'm saying? I'm in a place where I'm in a place where like, you know, I have to do things to take care of myself. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, that comes into play. I exit. I think I wasn't able to see you guys, so I didn't know if I was still on air.
Oh yeah, no, you're good. You're good.
But yeah, but definitely, you know, money, you know, making sure that I'm financially stable. But if something doesn't feel right, you know what I'm saying, then I really have to have the conversation with myself. Because at the end of the day, I'm the true master of myself. I can't like nobody else has that answer. I can't even go to my mother and ask, should I do this part? What, you know what I'm saying? Like it's in me. Like I know the answer. Will I be able to do this and live with myself? You know what I'm saying? Then
that's what I was going to say. This sounds like, you know, you really from just the things that you're saying, you really live and embrace those roles, like you're living and breathing for yourself, and that becomes a part of you, and it has to be right for you. You know, even after the role is done. You know, you want to make sure that it lives on, but it's telling the truth about really Travis. Also, that's what it sounds like. I mean, you know, it does,
because you can't leave yourself out of it. You know, what I'm saying? Like, I have to take myself with any role that I do, and I think now that we're in a more socially conscious society, people are now being awakened to things that just are not. That are not acceptable anymore. You know what I'm saying? That should have been unacceptable.
Right.
Been unacceptable.
Right.
Now all of a sudden people having this social conscious, and it's like not like just because you having that social conscious doesn't mean that it was any more less acceptable 2 years ago.
Correct.
You know what I'm saying? Like, yeah.
Wow.
Yes, I'm glad because that's good because the exploitation days are over.
Right.
You know, exploitation films and this and that. We still have a long way to go in the end. But you know, we come a long way also. So as with that, as far as that, and now today, I don't think any producer, director would try to hopefully not do anything that is not respectable to the culture.
Well, we will hope. We go hope. That's what I say about that. We go hope. I mean, and in respect to like, you know, exploitation and you know, art is something that is subjective. You know what I'm saying? So that's a conversation in itself. Like whether what, you know, what it like. That's why we need to have a medium on what is respectable and what's not. You know what I'm saying? And sometimes that differs with people because not everybody is playing on the same moral field.
Like, everybody don't have that same moral compass. You know, they come from that same space.
So that's why those conversations are important. Like, what are you willing to do? And just do you think that this piece of art needs to be told right now? Is it something that is really truthful? Is it grounded? Like, do you think that really needs to be told? You know what I'm saying? Or is it for money? If it's for money too, like, you know,
be real about it. Like, be real about it. Though. Have that.
You can make bread.
Well, that's what Samuel L. Jackson says. He doesn't turn. That's why he's one of the. Well, he is the highest paid because he doesn't turn down any.
Yeah.
But that was his
choice.
His personal decision.
Right. Right.
Because he was just like, I'm gonna do this because I'm gonna get all the money Hollywood, you know, has to work.
Right.
But he did it in a way where he, you know, he became famous and everybody was wanting him, and it became to the point where it was like, all right, I'll do it, whatever.
Whatever. Right. Pay me.
Right.
And that brother owned it, and that, I mean, he earned his coins. You know what I'm saying? Especially
while talking smack.
You know, with all of that though, you know, it just really, you know, all of this, you know, keeping things real and just talking about the reality of things. But under this past regime or presidency, you know, he kind of pulled back the veil of. Well, I know he's not your president. I know, and
he's somebody else's king.
Right. He's somebody else's king. True. And with all of that being said, though, you know, with all of the racism and biases that really have really moved to the forefront, and being an artist and an actor and being in that position, have you over maybe the last couple of years experienced more bias? You know, whether you were out on an audition or maybe on a set, you know, have you seen more? Has that kind of blended or bled over into your field?
I can't say more because it's that, you know, racism, genocide is the founding of this country, is implemented in every structure that we have. So I don't think any of it ever went away for it to ever be come back more present. It's always been here.
Okay.
It's been here like a ghost on our back. Like,
wow.
And I'm, you know, I'm 22. I haven't been alive that long. But like, I know from at least just from what I've seen that's been present for at least 400 years. You know what I'm saying? Like whether I'm connected to the ancestors or not, I know that. I know that in my soul that's been here for this long. So it's always been present. You know what I'm saying? And there's always been a fight to be seen as a three-dimensional human person. You know what I'm saying? Regardless, like see me, like for me and see other Black people as you see, like we don't get the privilege to be seen as three-dimensional people. You know
I agree.
Never got that privilege ever.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
So right.
It's so and I wanted to bring it back to Samuel Jackson too, but I remember I was watching some of his master classes on like there's this thing they gave college students, you could get a dollar. No, you could pay $1 to get a free not a free, we're paying $1 to get a subscription for the master class. And so I was listening to his master classes on how he built character and whatnot. And I think even all respects to everybody that came before, you know what I'm saying? Because even though stuff has been sewed into our society, they definitely paved the way. You know what I'm saying? People like Steve Poitier, Denzel, Viola Davis, Cicely Tyson. Like I have to give respect to them because they definitely did it for us to. You know, we are standing on the shoulders of them.
Yeah.
You know, so I have to give respect to them always.
Absolutely.
Well, with that then. So now that we've transitioned and we're in the transition, this craziness that's taking place, you know, recently. But look, trying to move forward, right? And I know we can sit here and talk hours, ever, right? the anarchy and the insurrection that took place.
Yeah. But
I want to leave that in the pocket right now. And with the transition that we're expecting to happen with the new Biden-Harris administration, you know, do you think or do you feel there can be a change, period? And when I say change, you know, will we see change somewhere? Maybe social, the social inequalities and injustice may change. Will the racism, and again, it's always going to be racism, but I want to call it. I call it the Twin Tower days in the early 2000s, where
Right.
for about 2 years, I remember everybody was kumbaya in this country. Black, white, blue, red, aliens didn't matter. Do we return to that semi semblance of we're gonna put blinders on and act like we're all American? Like what do you think is going to happen under the next 4 years?
That is I think because I'm black in this country, I'm hopeful regardless. You know, that I think that's always be present. I think us as a people, I'll always be hopeful and resilient.
Mm-hmm.
With that being said, as I said before, you know, this country is built on how it was built. You know what I'm saying? We can't ignore the fact that it was built on racism and genocide.
Yeah.
And when I think, you know, seeing a change, I didn't expect what happened last year, you know, around May, June,
right.
happen. Right. And not that it was really this big positive thing, because it's been happening for so long, right? That I think other people just it's like they just awakened. You know what I'm saying? Like we just started to have that conversation.
Right.
And in this country, I just don't believe that we can have any, especially from a president or vice president or whatever, we could have any faith that they are our saviors. I just don't believe that they are our saviors. I don't. I'm hopeful, but I don't believe that. I don't believe that any president has ever been our savior, or any political figure has any been our savior, you know, for the people, because no matter what you're representing this country, you know what I'm saying? America has never been flowers and peaches. It's never been
right.
Like, this is a country that was built. I have to say that again. This is built off genocides.
Yeah.
People were killed, then you brought slaves over, and that's how you made your money. That's what this country is built on.
Speak that, bro.
When a change, maybe a change for people, maybe a change for people that probably don't look like me, or maybe little change, you know what I'm saying? We got changes. Hopefully healthcare gets better. You know what I'm saying? Things that we could see happen. Student loans. I'm kind of excited for that.
Right, but things that makes everyone feel comfortable.
Yeah,
those kinds will change. But I see you, Lee. But I see your wheels is turning.
No,
I see
I'm so
you.
proud of you, young man. I don't know what to do. You are absolutely 300% correct. We cannot wait for a savior, and especially any type of political savior. We have to save ourselves. So I was just listening to him and really feeling a sense of motherly pride, because he's absolutely and 100% correct. I mean, we may see some changes as far as policies here and there, just a little crumbs. And if we get more, I'll be happy. I'll be thankful for that. But I'm not looking for any grandioso tomorrow, because racism is alive and well, and you can't change the minds of people who are hell bent on being who they are. So to think that they're going to change the minds of, let's say, the people that stormed the Capitol, or the 74 million Trump supporters, to embrace African Americans. I just don't see that. I think that we'll get maybe a more fair shake when it comes down to maybe more monetary things like tax breaks and just little system stuff like that, and like that, student loans, possibly healthcare, maybe maybe we'll see a little tweak here and there of justice reform. But for a political figure to have to change the whole gamut, because like Travis said, it's the foundation. So that means we have to rip up, and everything above it
has to be.
So that means that we have to gut this nation and do it over again. And I just don't see, I don't see that happening on the shoulders of Joe Biden and Kamala. What I would like to say, especially in police reform, I don't, because we know that Joe is not for defunding the police. He's not for. He wants to see how you could work it out on both sides, and he wants to sit down and kumbaya. But you can't kumbaya this thing. It's embedded. It's ingrained. As you see with what happened at the Capitol. There's inside job. So it's the police, some of the police, the higher ups, the orchestrators, some politicians orchestrated this, and the execution went a little awry. But I mean, this is what we have. We're not working. We're not in a democracy. Those people at the Capitol don't work for us anymore. Once you get on that hill, you start working for corporate America. So I don't, and I don't feel that they're going to do much. So I agree with Travis to say all of that.
No, but I wanted to give you the floor because I mean, I know that look in your eye, I know that gleam, I know that shoulder twitch. We get you in there, yeah. Make sure. But I mean, it's important though that we hear it, and it's important that, like you said, more so not to say for you and I, Lisa, but this is why I was really pressed and happy to have this young man on. Like I said, this is a young man that I'm starting to find that there are a lot of us young men, that there are a lot of them out here that, not to say they don't know where to go, but it's not enough moving in the same direction. We're acting as fingers instead of a hand. And I really think it's important, the more we can get young men like this, young kings like this, to come out and speak and let their presence be known, because the media never shows things like this.
Right.
And I really think it's on us, and that's what this platform is about, to be able to find and highlight, young men that are doing things, that are about something. And really, I feel, and we've talked about it, at least I feel somebody like Travis has more of a voice than we do, because they're the ones coming behind us.
Right.
It's really up to us to share what knowledge we have, but they're coming behind us with the technology. And look, I'm just gonna call it what they killers out here, man. Like, they are not afraid.
No.
We want to go march and hold hands and then go see what happens. Like, they want to sit there like, yo, like, excuse me, but yo, what the fuck y'all doing? You gonna make this happen? We ain't going nowhere. You know what I'm saying? So that is really big.
Their thinking is different than ours. Right. They've learned the history, right? We lived through some of the history, but they've learned the history and said, okay, guys, what y'all doing really ain't
working. It ain't working.
Yeah,
it's true.
So, but we can't get mad at that. We have to embrace
it.
We have to embrace the new roads. We have to pass that baton. You know what I mean?
Yep.
We have to be, and let them do how they do. And I mean, in technology, forget it. I mean, they know how to do what we don't.
Yep.
Yeah.
So with that,
I'm not going to name the list.
Right. Well,
with the whole TikTok thing,
I can't.
That TikTok thing with the president, when they went on there and brought up all the seats, like, I was like,
I can't.
Like,
I couldn't. My mind and my fingers and my imagination is not that good with technology today to make my vision come through like that. I just can't.
But it was planned, underground, executed, and I mean, and these are the things that we all need to be as one with. That kind of,
yeah. So with that being said, talking about digital and the media technology today, we're going to go ahead and shout out our sponsors over at 94 Media House, who are sponsoring today's episode. 94 Media House, if you're a small Black-owned business and you're in an assistance or need with your graphic design, your web design, or branding, they are the company for you. 94 Media House. I know personally because they do all of Two Mics Up website design and branding. So if you are in need of an upgrade or new design, check them out. They're the hottest thing right now in the DMV. Like the Spike Lee movie, do the right thing. Go ahead and contact 94 Media House today and get all your branding needs taken care of. Hit them up on the web at www.94mediahouse.com. So with that being said, we're going to come back in this segment, and I'm going to go ahead and turn it over to Lisa Travis, because she's got some other things that I know she was chomping at the bit that she wanted to get at. So go ahead, Lisa.
So what really so what inspired what transpired over the last year? What's
Mhm.
your thoughts on the BLM, the unfortunate death of George Floyd, Breonna
Mhm.
Taylor, Ahmaud Arbery, you
Mhm.
know, our racially charged division as a whole, like as a country as a whole? What's your thought on those issues?
First off, rest in peace to all of our fallen soldiers. Uh, and I hope that we are able to honor them in their passing, and that their death will not be in vain. I think, and it's interesting because of what we were saying about people who are now speaking up in terms of like younger Black people and like the younger generation. And I think with everything that's being done now, and I've been having conversations about this. We didn't have leaders like how we did in the 50s and the 60s. There wasn't one unit as we have now.
Mhm.
I mean, there wasn't. It's not united as it was back then, is what I'm saying.
Mhm.
Right.
And I think that plays into the culture. You know what I'm saying? I mean, now we are in a age of social media. We are in a age of where people are seeing Black people killed every day. And I think that's what inspired it. Like we seen it every day, and not that they didn't see it back then, but like now we're seeing it on video, and people can just look at their phone, right? Just go on social media, and you see another Black woman shot, another Black woman shot, another Black child shot, another Black man shot, and it just like I don't know if it's desensitizing us, but it's not normal to see that much death. It can't be, you know what I'm saying? Especially when they just when they look like you. And so I think that we're at the turn of the culture where we need some type of revolution, you know what I'm saying? Whether that be technology involved, but we need some type of a revolution's coming. It has to be, because to see this much death is not normal. You know what I'm saying? My thoughts on BLM. It's like it's there's nothing controversial about it. We just saying that Black lives matter. You know what I'm saying? I don't think it's, in my understanding, like I know it's an organization, but it's a simple thing of saying that we matter. We're here. You know what I'm saying? We we have not been valued.
Right.
We have not been valued, and that's what we want. You know what I'm saying? And we're trying to keep pushing that. So
Right.
there's nothing controversial about that. There's nothing that needs to follow up about that. I don't know how that could be controversial. I don't know how people could say Blue Lives Matter when like this complete disrespect to all the Black bodies that built this country first of all,
Right.
right? That died on the slave ships here, that jumped off, you know what I'm saying?
Right. Tell it. Tell it.
Jumped off because they knew, to come here and work for somebody, like, you know what I'm saying? Like we have to honor all those people that died in the transatlantic slave trade. All the people that, like, we as a people are just so resilient, and I'm almost always almost speechless by the resilient that Black people have across the world, from Africa to America to Haiti to France to wherever. Like we here. You know what I'm saying? There is something very special about us, you know what I'm saying? And the fact that we still here trying to fight says everything about us. You know what I'm saying? And it's a country that never valued us. So I don't see anything controversial. I think that we've been doing what we've been doing, but as you know, as in me too, like the next generation is coming after me also, and I always think about what kind of ancestor I want to be.
Right.
Whoa, good point.
So like we have a duty to the kids coming after us, and the ones that have yet to come. So we have a duty, we have a responsibility to keep that.
Man, look, I'm speaking.
Well, and it's just so funny because, just to bring up Breonna Taylor and Ahmaud Arbery and George Floyd and all that have fallen. I mean, the list is so long, we can't possibly name everyone. But what strikes me is that the direct contrast to And I'm only going back to the events of the other day because they're just so new. But I'm seeing now trending say her name, right? On
Yeah, we're not playing that game. We're not playing that game about the white girl that tried to storm the building. Yeah, we're not
yes,
playing
the
that game.
white girl that tried to storm the building and
Ashley Babbitt or whatever.
Oh, that's what you're talking about.
Yeah, Ashley Babbitt. Yeah.
Yeah, and she
Okay,
got
yeah.
killed. So
Mhm.
now they're going say her name, and
That's crazy.
when you read the comments, and I mean, you
There's no
have
comparison.
to stay out of the comments because if you go into the comments, the rabbit hole that you'll go down.
You're beyond the rabbit hole.
You just want to like
and then I'm reading the comments because
Yeah.
I have to still read them because I have to stay relevant and see what's being talked about on the other end because we can't keep just listening to people that agree with us. I'm just trying to see where they're coming from with this, and it is like she was the narrative that is being spun right now is that she was an unarmed white woman that was shot by the police.
Oh my God.
They are saying, say her name.
Yeah.
So I go down this rabbit hole and I'm thinking, okay, this can't be right. So a gentleman said she was a veteran, but no, the left, because we're tied into the left, regardless,
right? Yeah.
BLM or independent, or if you gay more independent like I am, or if you have your own mind, whether you black, you tied to the left, right?
Got it.
So, if she was black, was what I read yesterday. If she was black, Black Lives Matter would have burnt down DC like they did in the summer, and nobody did anything about that. Wait a minute.
I'm sorry.
Because it's so ridiculous. And it's like because nobody did anything about that. And so what? They had a protest. So what? What about all summer? We watched on TV cities around the country being burnt down. And I'm thinking,
let me tell you this. When I saw it, I stopped reading after the second post because
you stopped, right? Because it was too much.
Because all I'm gonna say is two things, before you go to your next question. Tell that to the black girl that they killed about 4 years ago with her baby in the back seat for just making a U-turn and crossing a barricade at the Capitol, the same place, and they shot her dead in her car with her child in the back. So go ahead and say that. You talk about that. And the second thing is, and all I'm saying is, you want me to feel sorry for a woman who served this country that was white, but she was a thief. She had a criminal record. So again, I don't condone violence, but you want me to feel sorry for someone that was a thief and a crook that was breaking in to a building that she had no business being in, and more so trying to get into a secure area that no one has no business being in. Oh, okay. On to your next question. I'm gonna leave it there. Yeah. I'm okay. Right. Okay, whatever. That's your one to our, I don't know how many hundreds, how many thousands. Okay, all right, I'm over it. That was my rant. Okay, next question.
Okay.
Nobody think about Ashley Abbott.
One thing to improve Black America, what would it be?
That is a loaded question.
Right.
One thing. Oh my Lord! What is one thing we could do?
Well, how about we change it to you personally? Like, if it was something that if you had the power.
Well, I think off rip, I would eradicate the use of the term black on black crime. I don't believe in that.
I agree.
I don't believe in that. I don't think that. I think that is probably one of, anti-blackness is something that is so rooted in this country. Even if you black, I feel like, we have to do the work to work against that. You know what I'm saying? It's so rooted. Not even in this country, in the world. Anti-black is so rooted in this world. Anti-black is so rooted in this world.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? I haven't even traveled everywhere, and I know that has to be true. You know what I'm saying? It's probably not as present as it is in America and other places, but it's present.
It's present.
And so I think when we have terms like black on black crime, like saying that, saying that it's okay for people to kill us because there's crime in our areas that are predominantly black. First off, it's just crime. You know what I'm saying? We're in situations where like we're pushed into these neighborhoods. You know what I'm saying? Like we've been pushed into these neighborhoods. Like no matter what way you want to cross and shape it, is not our fault. That is not our fault. The responsibility is not on us. We were pushed into these places with the textbooks being ripped off, the buses, the poor funding, I could go on and on and on and on. You know what I'm saying? And we've been pushed into these places where, of course, there's going to be crime. There's poverty.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Of course, there's heavy police. There's heavy policing. You know what I'm saying? Like, because these are the crimes that that comes out of impoverished neighborhoods.
People fighting to survive. People fighting to survive.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? Not even in the wildest, and not even in the wildest of kids that I know that are black will go and shoot up a school.
Good point.
Not the wildest of kids I know will go and shoot up a school.
Right.
That are black. Let me just say that. That will go and shoot up the entire school. Nah, I don't know nobody like that. I'm sorry. You know what I'm saying? I don't. So when we talk about the most heinous crimes, the most heinous crime, you guys came here and, like I said, y'all genocide a whole bunch of people. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like that, y'all did that.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And I also have to bring it back when we're talking about, Black Lives Matter would have burned down all of DC and all of that. Let me tell you something. We as black people have a right, if we wanted to.
Oh, go ahead.
If we wanted to.
Go ahead, say it.
We have the right to burn everything to the ground. We have that right. That is our right.
Man, look here. He ain't never lied on that one.
Because we built this joint.
For free.
Technically, so I'm with you, bro. I'm with you.
Yeah, I'm saying he ended that one perfectly. He 100% right.
Yeah.
So with that then, Travis, do you feel like you can use your platform, because right now you're very humble, and I see that, you're very grounded, but you do have a platform as a celebrity, whether a lot of people may or may not think that, but do you think by using your platform, you can have an impact on other men that's positive, within the community?
Yeah, whatever platform we are, whether with social media or with whatever, I think we can we can use that platform to inspire change in the community. You know what I'm saying? And it could be very intimate, or it could be big. You know what I'm saying? But a change is a change, no matter what. And so yeah, I do think that. I think even in the ways on how I am, like trying to, in some ways, be more softer, trying to fight, I guess, toxic hypermasculinity in ways that's always a conversation. I think us as black men, we need to funnel those conversations. We really need to funnel those conversations.
It's
like,
wow.
Well, I'm going to tell you something. This is how ironic, and this is how small the world. Because he just brought up something. My wife and I, our executive producer, the masculine toxicity in our culture. And I'm going to reach out to you because we just talked about that the other day as a topic. And I'm working on a new segment. And I'm going to be reaching out to you because you just brought it up, and we sat here because my wife was even to a degree like, what are you talking about? And I really got into that, how we bully and we try to pimp each other as men, trying to set male dominance, whether it be in society or in your group, your circle, but then it bleeds over into your relationships and your kids. So man, this brother right here, I'm going to be because he already spoke on something that we literally was talking about last night. So I'm glad you said that, and I hope our listeners, kind of keep that to the forefront. We're gonna bring that topic back. It's really important. So, next question, then, Travis, what do you feel is one thing that you maybe yourself though? Now, not only using your platform, but what could you do personally? What could you do more to help others be inspired? Black. I don't want to just say black men and women, black, brown men and women in our community.
Okay. I think what is one thing I could do? I know my objective is, especially for black people in this country, is just to live as your authentic self, as much as you can. You know what I'm saying? I understand we have to armor ourselves, and there are conversations we're not ready for, and all of the things that life comes, and we have to protect ourselves, but it's to live as authentically as possible. You know what I'm saying? No matter what you are, no matter what you are, in terms of being black, no matter what you identify with, no matter who you like, no matter your gender, you know what I'm saying? No matter whatever, you know what I'm saying? Live as your authentic self, and that will further influence the black people around you, you know what I'm saying? Because we need that. We need that. We need that. We still do. We really do need that. And I always try to tell myself the truth. You know what I'm saying? Regardless of what I tell anybody else. Myself, my truth is the only thing I have for myself. I keep that for me. You know what I'm saying? So if I'm able to hold that, I can only just hope that would rub off and shine light to others. You know what I'm saying? And I also I give respect to all the people that I have around me, whether I talk to them every day or not, but the people that I grew up around, you know what I'm saying? They inspired me all the time, from not even just like my mother or like my parents or just family wise, but the people that I went to school with. I give respect to them all the time because I saw them and that inspired me. Just live.
That's real.
And we've never been able to just do that. Just live. Just live as yourself. Don't worry about what nobody got to say to you. You know what I'm saying? And that's one of the most gangsters things you could do in this world.
That's real talk right there. Well, I mean, man, we've kind of covered a gambit. So to go really out, I really want to talk about, and let you talk about to our listeners, Topdog, Underdog, the theatrical performance. I mean, I was reading all the reviews and I actually knew someone that was able to see it, and they talked so highly about it. Talk to us and our listeners about Topdog, Underdog. What's it all about? What was the premise and your role in the theater performance?
It was a gift for me. Shout out to Susan Laurie Parks. It was written by a Black woman, and our production was directed by a Black woman too. Her name is Laurie Parquette. Okay. And she was wonderful. You know what I'm saying? Shout out Nathaniel. He played Lincoln. That was other actor. It's a 2-person play. You know what I'm saying? And it is such a gift, but Black women have always been doing the work for us. You know what I'm saying? So for her to write this story about 2 Black men,
right?
You understand what I'm saying? Right. About 2 Black men, to write the story about 2 Black men and cover the whole array about about the story that she covered about us is just really it's a gift. That's what it is. It was and it's about 2 brothers, so we're covering she covers masculinity, hyper masculinity, trying to get a job, all the stuff that we talk about, from money, you understand what I'm saying, from parents, what that is, you know what I'm saying, how we our dominance in relationships, it's especially heterosexual relationships with Black men, with Black men and Black women. So that's covered in there, and all that's talked about just between 2 men,
right?
You know what I'm saying? and I wasn't able to see it when they first did it on Broadway. I know it was Jeffrey Wright and Mos Def. I must have been like maybe 3 years old when they first did it.
Right.
But shout out to them, man. Shout out to them for first doing it, because like we need those stories, and I'm just so honored that somebody you knew was able to see it, and thank Princeton gave it the home. It was it was done at Princeton, and I'll tell you something. While we were there, we went and took pictures. I think Lori had the idea, like which was the director. We took pictures across the campus, which were built, it's built by slaves, but some houses, where we was able to see the like they had the slaves' names written on these, like on these monument things, like. And so to see that, and then to do a play there, you know what I'm saying, like that, it's kind of full circle, and it knows that it feels like we have to be. It's like we're on sacred ground, kind of, you know what I'm saying? Because like their blood, their sweat is soaked in literally where we're performing, you know what I'm saying? So to take the pictures there was kind of like, it was definitely a full circle moment.
Oh man, that had to be an experience, and I missed it, when it was in New York, and I heard it was great. But like I said, having someone, and like I said, that was part of the research. Getting introduced to you and your work came from a conversation. Yo, I saw this brother, he was doing this joint, man, this 2-man play. Like, what are you talking about? And that just really sparked the whole thing, man. So I'm really, like I said, I'm appreciative of you coming out, and I just wanted to highlight that, because I think it's got to be tough doing a 2-man play, day in and day out. Like, how do you get yourself like pumped? Like, it's the 2 of y'all. That's
it. Let me tell you, it was I auditioned for it in April. I was in my junior year of college, and I went to the audition. Lori had invited me to audition, and I missed the first audition. I missed it, like completely forgot about it. And I remember I found out maybe like, oh no. Yeah, called me. She was like, yo, you come to, because she had knew me. I had worked on this other play in Shakespeare in the Park, and she was the assistant director, so she knew me. So she called me up. She was like, yo, you go come, because like I'm auditioning people, and I was like, oh, I was like, damn. So she was like, yo, just come to the callback. You know what I'm saying? And so I went to the callback, and I was there. Like, I was able to read with beautiful, great actors. One of my boys, Abel, was there, and we got to read together, and it was dope. And so they offered me the part, and I remember I had an exponential growth, I feel, my junior year of school in terms of my progress with acting. And I really thank my teachers there, especially Jonathan McCory. That's another a Black man. My school brought in directors to work with. So that kind of, and the reason why I'm saying all this is because that is what kind of prepared me for that type of play. You know what I'm saying? I think if I had did that play coming out of my sophomore year into my junior year, it would have been a very different experience. And so I'm thankful to people like specifically Jonathan McCrory, who's the head of the National Black Theater, for really working with me like in school. Like we did another play, but his guidance, like I carry that with me all the time. You know what I'm saying? So, but regardless, I got to Jersey, and it was a lot of lines to memorize. Like I started memorizing then. You know what I'm saying? So my other actor, the other actor in the show, Nathaniel, was just a masterclass to work with every day. It was like getting up and like boxing, you know what I'm saying? And like when it's like that, you get that type of excitement. It's like, oh, I can't wait. And we doing 12-hour days.
Right.
And and I have to go back and then memorize the script, you know what I'm saying? And then try to have some kind of personal life, and then try to get some sleep, and then get back and get into the ring with this dude who is powerful, like a powerhouse. So to work with him was just a blessing, and my whole time in school I was always thinking of like, how am I bettering myself, especially in the summertime, or how am I still learning. And the answer, what I like, you learn like it's so communal that you learn from the other actor. Like
Right.
I learn from you. Like I'm not in school, but I'm learning from you. You know, the Lori, like I learned so much. And the crew too, like everybody on the production side. But it's definitely, I think it was 2.5 hours. Yeah. So it was a lot of it took a lot of energy, you know what I'm saying? I think I already have that, you know what I'm saying, with
yeah, we can tell you got that.
Oh, you're 22. You got that energy.
Yeah, blessings to my ancestors.
Right.
My ancestors. I think, you know, that's part of that root from where it comes from. But but it's also school, you know what I'm saying? Like school, just, you know, just being like going to school for, you know, college for it really did prepare me to handle that language, I think. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, that's how I did it.
Man, that's awesome, man. I appreciate you sharing that with us, man. That's awesome. I really love it. So, you know, with that, Leash, you got anything before we close out today with this brother?
Oh, got something. I just want to thank you, Travis, so much for being
Thank you.
It was truly an honor. You're an inspiration, and I cannot wait to see, you know, what life has in store for you. And I get to say that I met you, I knew you, I know you.
Amen. Amen.
You know,
Word.
don't forget us when you get, you know.
Right, because he on his way. He on his way.
On your way.
Definitely.
Shout out to your to best match also, first match, excuse me, also to that project. You know, like I said, that one was kind of close to me. But I'm glad. I like who you are, you know, regardless of your career. I just like you as a person. And we just met, but I just feel your energy and your spirit, and I know you destined for greatness. So I hope we stay in touch and we do things together, because I'm definitely feeding off of your positivity and your knowledge.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you so much for having me. Like, I'm so grateful to be here. I was fed through through this conversation. I was so fed. So like, honestly, thank you, not just for having me, but just for this conversation, because you know, conversations where I'm able to be fed and learn and, you know, give and receive is so dope.
Yeah.
So thank you for, you know, for lightening my day.
Oh no, man. Thank you for educating us as well. And our listeners, you know, like Lisa said, you know, your energy is amazing. You know, you can tell that you come from great stock. You know, your family, man, your kudos to them.
Yes, sir.
You know, for helping develop, you know, the young man that you are, the leader that you are. And yeah, hey man, all praise to mom, because she done an amazing job. You got an amazing support system at home. But I want to allow you, before we go, you know, tell us what you have going on, what's coming up, where our listeners can find you, follow you, all of that great stuff, man.
Definitely. I mean, I'm on Instagram. You know, I'm on Facebook. So, like, my name Travis Raeburn. Is with Travis Ray on Instagram. So I'm there if you ever want to, you know, reach out or whatever. I'm here. I have a reading coming up called Dutch Kings. That's with Brave New World. So I'm excited for that. That's going to be that's going to be at the end of January. I'm working on a little devised theater project that's takes place over the next 3 months. So I'm excited to go into rehearsals for that. And just still auditioning.
Okay.
Still auditioning, you know what I'm saying? But I'm friendly. If you know, if anyone wants to you know, have questions or anything like that, like, I'm on social media, so I'm here, you know.
That's what's up, man. Because I'm definitely, like I said, I'm going to be reaching out to you again. You like I said, you touched on some things, like I said, that I've been working on, and I'm really big on you know, getting young men. I really feel y'all are our future, and your voices need to be heard. Our old tired asses think we know everything, but we really don't. I'm not speaking for you, Lisa. I'm not speaking for you. I'm speaking for myself. That's what I mean. I'm speaking for myself. Like, I don't want to get you involved in that way. You cuss me out in a minute. So, but thank you, Travis. And Lisa, you got anything coming up? You know, anything you're working on, or anything you want to share? Your final thoughts on today's episode?
Today's episode was good. I'm so glad to be back in the saddle with you, bruh. Travis, I just followed you on Instagram. Side note. But yeah, I'm just happy to be back here, and getting our season 2 started. And what a way to
Yeah.
start, huh?
Now this
This
right
was
here is
good.
this was a great one, and everyone just stay tuned. We're going to be putting a lineup together. This episode will be one of our first. I don't have an episode number yet, but this will be one of our first coming out of the break. Um, Travis, as always, like I said, my king, thank you so much.
Thank you.
And like we always do at this time, I'm just going to say before I even get to that, I need the listeners. If you want to support, hit the little Cash App down at the bottom of the screen. You can support. If you want to follow the show, you can follow us online at www.2micsup.com. You can follow us on social media, IG, Facebook, and Twitter, all at 2micsup. And like we do at this time, stay safe, stay blessed. Mike's out.
Mike's out.
Take care, y'all. Thank you.